How am I gonna speak without a microphone? Goodness gracious. All right. Very nice. And we're live again. Absolutely brilliant. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Making those dreams come true. Living the life. Yeah, we got the sound. It's working. That's good. It's always good to know that it's working, right? What'd I miss? What'd I miss? What did I miss? What did I not miss? Oh my goodness. What is going on these days? And what isn't going on? Always excitement, right? That's a good part. There's always excitement. Speaking of, we're going live every single day of 2026. So make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Become a member. Throw in a super chat. Help support this channel. Shall we get started? I think we shall. All right. So, chat. This news board is flashing like a dashboard in a rental car. Nobody bought insurance, and it's just blinking. We got the Supreme Court security, Virginia maps, monicawit, Iran, Hormuz, Poland troops, ISIS, Trump and Xi, all at once. Hit like, subscribe, become a member, super chats, jump the line. Good day, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Gonna make it amazing. So, yeah. You're not wild for noticing these patterns. I guess you're just a little early, right? So let's see what POTUS has to say.
Welcome back to Beijing, Mr. President. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
You know, you said that this summit is a success. As you get ready to head back to Washington, what's the most significant, specific thing you walk away from here for the U.S.?
I think the most important thing is relationship. It's all about relationship. I have a very good relationship with President Xi and with China.
That's right.
And it sounds like something that doesn't mean anything, but it's everything. In deal making and problems we've solved, the two of us have solved a lot of problems that somebody else would have maybe done very badly with. We've solved a lot of problems over the years.
Lone Wolf and Cub, W's in the chat for first chat of the day, saying my pattern recognition be kicking in frequently. That's right, buddy.
We have a very good relationship. Trade has been very strong. We're getting a lot of soybeans for our farmers. We're doing a lot of, there's a lot of things happening for the farmers. He committed to 200 Boeings, big ones, 777s and 737s, and a lot of big ones, big, beautiful Boeing planes, 200, that's a lot. With a commitment that if they do a good job, and I told this to Boeing and General Electric, we're going to go with the General Electric engines, which are great. If they do a good job, we could go up to 750.
And that's obviously a lot of investment going back and forth. You know, some Democrats, even some Republicans, had some concerns about Chinese manufacturing on U.S. soil. Is that happening?
Well, if they don't want to pay tariffs, it could happen, just like it's happening with other countries and companies. We have now more money being invested in the United States than any country at any time in the history of the world, including China, which probably is second from about 10 years ago. We have $18 trillion in 11 months, not the 12th month hasn't come in yet, the numbers. We have $18 trillion. If China wants to come in and wants to avoid tariffs, if they build here, for the most part, they're going to be hiring American people.
Making that money.
If they want to avoid tariffs, they're going to build in the United States.
Despite concerns about China operating inside the U.S.
Look, we have Japan is building massive, Toyota, Honda, all of them. I mean, they're building massive plants all over the country. So if China wants to build for their cars, now, I will tell you, I put 100% tariff on Chinese cars because I didn't want them coming into the country. If you take a look, only because they swamp you, they'll destroy your auto industry, and that's what's happening in Europe. And now they're saying we have to do a little bit like Donald Trump. Europe is being killed. They're being absolutely swamped by hundreds of thousands, millions of Chinese cars and Mercedes.
They're just that good. They're just that good. There you go. POTUS playing defense and offense at the same time. W's in the chat for POTUS or L's. What do y'all think?
And BMW and Volkswagen, they're getting killed. So if you notice, we haven't had that problem. You know why? Because I have 100% tariff on
How you doing,
cars
Cali
made in
Chica?
China.
And even though the Supreme Court ruling, you're going to still continue that tariff
the
road.
ruling was just on a specific type of tariffs.
And you're going a different route.
Correct. I have the right to do the same tariff in, frankly, a little bit more complex way, but it's actually a better tariff. It's a more stringent tariff.
I want to ask you about Iran and AI, but China made clear that Taiwan is very important to them. And after your first meeting here, President Xi's spokesman put out a statement to the media, through the media, saying this: the Taiwan question is the most important issue in China-U.S. relations. If it is handled properly, the bilateral relationship will enjoy overall stability. Otherwise, the two countries will have clashes and even conflicts, putting the entire relationship in great jeopardy. You were still inside the meeting when that came out. That sounded almost like a threat. Was it communicated that way behind closed doors?
No, it wasn't. Not at all.
There we go. We got W's in the chat for the GOAT, Donald Trump. That's right.
But it has always been their most important issue. And it's not a takeover. They just don't want to see this place, we'll call it a place because nobody knows how to define it, but they don't want to see it go independent. They don't want to do it. And I think they probably would do something pretty harsh, and then they would be met harshly, and bad things will happen. So, no, it's not that. We talked, by the way, last night, we talked the whole night about that issue. I think I know more about Taiwan right now than I know about almost any country.
You think it dominated the talk?
It's always been his most important thing from the day I knew him years ago. I've known him now 11 years, 12 years. It's always been the biggest thing for him, Taiwan. Now, with me, I don't think they'll do anything when I'm here. When I'm not here, I think they might, to be honest with you. But I'm not sure that they do anything if it remained as...
We got Thomas Ward jumping on the chat saying, I'm so happy I left the U.S. Too much drama. Too much drama. There you go. We got Lone Wolf and Cub supporting you, Thomas. There you go, buddy. There you go. Where'd you move to, Thomas? How's life where you are now?
But they have somebody there now that wants to go independent. Well, it's a risky thing when you go independent. You know, they're going independent because they want to get into a war and they figure they have the United States behind them. I'd like to see it stay the way it is. And I'll tell you something.
Oh, that's amazing, buddy. Thank you so much for your service. W's in the chat for Thomas. Vietnam vet moving away from the United States after fighting for the country. There you go, buddy. Seizure. Never heard of that, but all right. Oh, Southeast Asia. Never mind. W's in the chat for Thomas Moore. Thank you for your service, buddy.
I'll make a little news. I'd like to see everybody making chips over in Taiwan come into America because, to be honest with you, I think it's the greatest thing you can do. Because it's a heated situation, there's no question about it. And as you know, we have massive amounts of chip companies now from Taiwan already coming in. We expect to have 40 to 50% of the world chip business by the end of my term. And I think it should be even more than that. I think all of those chip companies...
I sit corrected, Thomas saying, not fighting for the United States. It was for the rich people. There you go, buddy. How can we find peace? How can we find peace? We're going live every day of 2026, so make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat if you want.
If they're smart, they're going to start heading to Arizona and the places where they're building. That's going to solve your problem.
Should the people of Taiwan feel more or less secure after your meetings with President Xi?
Neutral.
Has the policy changed at all?
No, nothing's changed.
U.S. policy?
No, nothing's changed. I will say this. I'm not looking to have somebody go independent and, you know, we're supposed to travel 9,500 miles to fight a war. I'm not looking for that. I want them to cool down. I want China to cool down.
But you're waiting on approving billions of dollars of weapons for Taiwan.
That's right.
Is that
I'm
moving
holding
forward?
it. Well, I haven't approved it yet. We're going to see what happens.
What are you looking for?
I may do it. I may not do it.
Yeah, what's your hinge point?
Well, I'm not going to say that.
I'm happy you found peace, Thomas More. That's amazing. Air America. No, do not know who Air America was. Who is that? Tammy jumping on the chat saying, God bless Donald Trump. There you go. Thank you, Tammy. Absolutely. God bless Donald Trump.
But I may do it. I may not do it. But we're not looking to have wars. And if you kept it the way it is, I think China's going to be okay with that. But we're not looking to have somebody say, let's go independent because the United States is backing us. You know,
so President Xi probably liked that you haven't approved the weapons to Taiwan.
I would say like is maybe too strong a word because he thinks I could do it with just the signing of my signature, unlike Biden who couldn't sign his signature. No, I'm holding that in abeyance, and it depends on China. It depends. It's a very good negotiating chip for us, frankly. It's a lot of weapons. It's $12 billion. It's a lot of weapons. But, you know, when you look at the odds, China's a very, very powerful, big country. That's a very small island. It's, think of it, it's 59 miles away, 59 miles. We're 9,500 miles away. That's a little bit of a difficult problem. With all of that being said, you know, if you look at the history of Taiwan, Taiwan was developed because we had presidents that didn't know what the hell they were doing. Because if they would have put tariffs on chips coming in, they would have never left. Everything was about Intel, and everything was about our chip companies. They stole our chip industry. So I've said that for years. I said, you know, for
There we go. We got Alice Tango jumping on the chat saying, like him or hate him, he is still getting God's blessing. That's right.
years they stole our chip. If we would have had one of our presidents just say, we're going to put 100% chip. You can leave, you can build in Taiwan, but you sell it back into the United States. We're going to put 100% or 200% tariff. We would have never lost a chip. We lost the chip industry. It's all coming back. And I do say this, Taiwan would be very smart to.
Lone Wolf and Cub has some of the funniest comments, but I just can't read all of them. Thank you for your comments, buddy.
Cool it a little bit. China would be very smart to cool it a little bit. They ought to both cool it.
On AI, was there any agreement about any kind of guardrails that China and the U.S. might agree to so that AI doesn't go crazy and
Well,
take
we
over
talked
the world?
about it. Yeah, we talked about it. Look, AI is mostly a great thing. Mostly. And we're leading China. We talked about that. We're leading China by a lot. I gave the right for AI to build their own electric producing plants. That's a big deal. They can manufacture their own electricity now, which we could never have gotten from the grid. And now you have these very rich companies headed by lots of geniuses building electric plants. Because of that, we are leading China by a lot in the AI race. Now, it's mostly the two of us. Other nations are in it, but mostly. And whoever wins the AI race, and we're going to win it. I mean, if we're smart, we're going to win it. If we're not smart, we're not. But we're leading by a lot. We talked about that last night. President Xi was very surprised at how well we've done with AI, because they thought, you know, when it started, they took this gigantic lead. And
All right, so allegedly, Air America was basically the CIA's secret airline during the Vietnam War era. But the twist is its biggest role was not only in Vietnam, it was heavily tied to the secret war in Laos, where the U.S. was fighting communism without openly admitting the full scale of the operation. It was a real airline with civilian-looking planes and helicopters, but it was secretly owned by the CIA. By 1970, Air America had roughly 24 twin-engine transports, 24 STOL aircraft, about 30 helicopters, and more than 300 pilots and support staff flying out of Laos and Thailand. What did they do? A lot. They moved food, weapons, troops, CIA personnel, refugees, medevac, patients, road watch teams and rescued downed American pilots. In 1970 alone, Air America reportedly delivered 46 million pounds of food, mainly rice, in Laos. They also flew dangerous missions around the Ho Chi Minh Trail, where North Vietnam moved supplies through Laos and Cambodia. The reason this had to be hidden was that Laos was officially neutral under the 1962 Geneva Accords, which limited overt American ground operations there. So America fought part of the war through CIA-backed forces, air power contractors, and civilian aircraft. That is the reason America became one of the strangest symbols of the Vietnam era. Not quite military, not quite civilian, basically uber black ops with rotor blades, right? There's also the infamous D-Rug question. Air America has long been accused of being connected to Op-EM movement in Laos. The careful version is this. There were serious allegations, and at least one CIA reading room document refers to, I'm trying to say this so anyone can listen, OPM being seized aboard an Air America aircraft headed from Vientiane to Saigon, but historians debate how much was official policy, tolerated behavior, rogue activity, or propaganda amplified later by the 1990 movie Air America. There you go, Thomas Moore. Thomas Moore, thank you so much for the information, saying, I saw the BS myself, the pilots getting paid big, $4. Oh my goodness. That is right next to nothing for such dangerous operations. We're going live every day of 2026. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat if you want. So I guess, chat, Air America was not a normal airline. This was not Southwest with jungle turbulence. This was a CIA-connected airline flying secret missions during the Vietnam War era, especially in Laos. Yeah, the planes look civilian. I guess basically imagine FedEx, the CIA, a rescue helicopter crew, and a guy named Gary who says, don't ask what's in the crate, all sharing one runway. Let the conspiracies begin, right? Air America matters because it shows how much of the Vietnam War was not just the war we saw on TV. There was another war happening in the shadows, especially in Laos, where the U.S. used covert aviation, local allies, and deniable operations. Kind of makes you think, what is actually going on with Iran, Israel, Ukraine, Russia? You know, we see this, what we see on the news, but what is actually going on behind the scenes, right? And even Lebanon, the south of Lebanon. So when people say Vietnam, don't just think jungles and helicopters, think secret airfields, unmarked aircraft, CIA logistics, rescued pilots, refugees, opium allegations, and a whole hidden war running behind the official war. Air America was the shadow airline of the Cold War. And that is not conspiracy theory. That is history with a fake boarding pass. Direct from Thomas Moore, 833. Where do you think the pilot's wife's was at? Yeah, good question.
We now have we are substantially ahead of them in AI.
But do you think there'll be some buy-in, set up guardrails or something?
I think there could be. We talked about it. But, you know, at the same time, we're competing. So it's a little hard to say, oh, gee, we're competing with each other and we're going to put guardrails. It really doesn't work that way too much. But AI, if you look at medicine, some of the things they're coming up with medicine, some of the cures they're coming up with that people would have never gotten there, it's going to be mostly a good thing.
Oh, thank you for the correction. No, not 4. That was a typo. $28,000 a year. Yeah, I was about to say $4. That's pretty cheap, man. What can you afford for $4 a day? My goodness. Running these operations. My goodness.
But we want to have some guardrails.
You said that the President Xi said he would offer assistance on Iran, and specifically,
I also said we don't need assistance.
you didn't ask for it. You said he was offering it,
Gail, how you doing? Happy to have you in here.
specifically to open the Strait of Hormuz.
The Chad, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
What do you think he will do?
I think he's been very nice about it. He gets 40% of his oil there. He didn't send anybody. He didn't send ships. He didn't send ships with big fat guns on them that we would have had to repel. We would have. The good thing is I built, during my first 4 years, the most powerful military in the world. We have the most powerful military in the world. That was shown in Venezuela, which took 1 day. Actually took 48 hours. I mean, it took, let's see, about 48 minutes. I think it was 48 minutes and 13 seconds. And
We got Mr. Rick jumping down the chat saying Trump is greatest of all time.
it was over. And it's a strong country with a strong military, but it went very quickly. And now, by the way, we have made a fortune with their oil. And so if they've made more money in the last 8 months than they've made in the last 10 years. And we're really, participating in the profit.
Venezuela, but obviously Iran is
it's a different kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But we're doing probably almost as well as, I don't know how you can do better. They have no Navy. They have no Air Force. It's all destroyed. Their Air Force is destroyed.
But yet they're talking a big game.
They talk a big game.
Iran's foreign minister said the Strait
they're not talking a big
is
game.
open to commercial shipping only if they cooperate with the Iranians.
They're not talking a big game. You know who's talking a big game? The fake news media. If you read the New York Times, you would think that we're losing militarily. Think of it. They have 159 ships. Every one is now in the bottom of the sea. Every one of them is gone. They had mine droppers. They call them mine droppers. Nice thing. Who has 22 mine droppers? The mine droppers are all gone. Now they have what they call fast boats. You know what they are? Runabouts, like you'd buy for your fantastic son if you wanted to buy him a nice boat, and they put a machine gun on it, okay? Most of them are knocked out. We knock them out just like we knock out the drug dealers.
You like to talk about cards. It seems like they're playing with a bad deck, to your point.
They have no deck.
And Thomas More is saying you should look up who was the people behind the war in Cambodia. There you go. Seems like Thomas More has a lot of insider information. Good to have you in the chat, buddy. What do you think is actually happening with Iran and Israel and the United States? Do you have any insider information, or even with Russia, Ukraine? We'll be happy to hear. And I'm so happy that you are now enjoying live. We're going live every day of 2026, so make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, helps the channel. Throw in a super chat if you want.
But they're still playing.
No, the only thing they have going is a fake press. They know how well we're doing militarily. And then at the request of a very nice group of people from Pakistan who are very close to Iran, I didn't go that final. They said, could you stop? We're going to make a deal.
So I guess there was about 6 people involved. Prince Norodom Sihanouk, Lon Nol, and Prince Sirik Matak. I guess that's 2 in 1. All right, another couple. Richard Nixon and Henry Kissinger. We got North Vietnam and the Viet Cong. The Khmer Rouge were the Cambodian communists. And China backed the Khmer Rouge. There you go.
And we really had the confines of a deal. No nuclear. They were going to give us the dust.
Chad USA says it is a propaganda war. I think a lot of people agree with you, buddy.
Nuclear dust. Everything we wanted. And every time they make a deal, the next day it's like we didn't have that conversation. And that's taken place about 5 times. There's something wrong with them. Actually, they're crazy. And you know what? Because of that, they cannot have a nuclear weapon. Because
the president of China agrees with you on that. And
he agrees with me on that. He agrees with me that he wants to see it end. He'd like to see it end. He would like to help. If he wants help, that's great. But we don't need help. And you know the problem with help? When somebody helps you, they always want something on the other side. That's the way help works.
Hard to believe, but it was 1 year ago today in UAE, interviewed you, and I asked you about Iran. How do you get to a solution there?
Oh, we'll get 100%.
You think so?
Well, we're going to have a solution one way or the other. It's either going to be violent or not violent. And I far prefer nonviolent. Sure.
Obviously, you've
By the
explained.
way, perfect answer.
You've explained why you did what you did because of the nuclear threat for Iran.
Yeah.
But you know, it's obviously not
me.
Venezuela. It's different.
Well, it's different, but
you did say it was going to be fairly quick. I mean, you said it numerous times.
W's in the chat for Thomas. He is the one that just inspired our latest poll. Is Donald Trump a puppet for Double B and Yahoo? What do you think?
Well, it was sending drugs in at a level that was terrible, and they did something that was a terrible, mortal sin. They emptied their prisons into our country, okay?
If our CIA was supplying landmines in Cambodia, what does our CIA have to gain? Thank you for the chat, buddy. Thank you, Thomas.
That was terrible, and that was different. This one is, I guess you could say, worse. That was pretty bad. You don't get much worse. Emptying your prisons, drug dealers, murderers into our country, that's pretty bad. But you could say this is worse. In this one, they are trying to make a nuclear weapon. I've stopped it twice. They would have had it 2 years ago. They would have used it already on Israel and the rest of the Middle East. Look at all the...
We got the author Stoic bringing a little friction in the chat, saying Trump himself is not. He is just a businessman, and not going along with the alliance to Israel is not profitable. There you go. Thank you for the chat, buddy.
So shot at people that didn't think they were even involved. Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, look at all. I mean, Bahrain, Kuwait, they got all shot at. Nobody thought they were even involved in this thing. They would have used a nuclear weapon on the Middle East. One thing I'll make clear right now, they said very specifically, because I deal with them, I said, we're taking the nuclear dust. They said, you can have it. I said, we're going to go get it. We're not going to let you take it. They said, we can't take it. We don't have the capability of taking it. I said, why? I said, because it was hit so hard. I mean, the mountain literally collapsed on it, a granite mountain.
Right. So why isn't that good
Just
enough?
so you know. Well,
I mean, if your goal was to set back.
It is good enough, but you know what? It's not good enough public relations-wise. It's important, it's important. It's probably good enough for a different reason, though. Space Force, which I created, has got cameras, 9 different cameras in space on that site. We know everybody that moves there. We can read the name of a person. We can need, if his name is Mohammed something, and most of them are Mohammed, you can guess, about 50% right. We can read his name right on his tag from space. It's the most amazing thing. Anybody that goes near that space, we have it tagged. They haven't done anything there. And if they did, we would hit them very hard. So 2 days ago, in speaking to the Iranians, they told me it was hit so hard. They actually said, I must say, that there's only 2 countries that could get it, us and China.
Right.
They said us and China, that they don't have the capability of getting it because it was so obliterated. The term I used was obliterated. The fake news said, oh, maybe somebody can get it. They actually said if they wanted to get it, they couldn't. So that's not good enough for me. I want to get it.
So why are we where we are? Did you underestimate the pain tolerance that Iran has?
I didn't underestimate anything. We hit them unbelievably hard. Look, we left their bridges. We left their electricity capacity. We can knock that all out in 2 days. 2 days, everything. We left Cargill, and other than, I said, hit it except for the valves where the oil comes out. Because when you hit that means you're going to lose a little oil. But one thing is happening, amazingly. Ships are floating up to Texas and Louisiana, and they're going to Alaska, and they're loading up with oil like we've never seen before.
Load it up.
Americans want to know when it's over, though, right?
Yeah, look, Vietnam lasted 19 years. Iraq was like 10 years. Korea was 7 years. Another one was 14 years. Another one was 12 years. Another one was 9 years. We're in there for...
Yeah, Thomas Moore saying, want to know what our political leaders did on the visits to the Nam War? Yes. Please enlighten us, buddy. Please. And we got PGF saying, thank God we have President Trump.
2.5 months. the other thing they talk about, so
To embarrass America.
Tens of thousands of soldiers in Vietnam. We lost tens of thousands of soldiers in practically every war. I've lost, and I wish we'd...
Please don't spam the chat more. One time is enough, buddy. One time is enough. Oh, you're just doing a translation. Okay, I think I understand.
Lost none, because I know those parents. I spoke to them. We lost 13 soldiers in 2 wars.
China got 3 tankers out this week filled with Iranian oil.
Because we allowed that to happen.
Knick-knack. 5-time draft dodger and knows everything about war. There you go, buddy.
You did.
We allowed that to happen.
Before this trip. Gas prices in America are still high, painfully high.
We got Lone Wolf and Cubs saying, you know how much Democrats love making children go missing. Oopsie poopsie, they say. Do you agree or disagree? Gotta throw in a septum emoji for that one. There you go, buddy.
They're going to drop like a rock as soon
Once
as
it's over.
Yeah.
Painfully high, though, now, and could be creeping higher
lower than
before it's
Biden.
done.
Excuse me, lower than Biden, and much lower than people thought they'd be.
This inflation number is going up. You're right. It's much lower than President Biden's was, but it's going up under you. The numbers are. You can imagine Democrats and political pundits jumped all over this statement that you made the other day. You were asked,
Ciao, amor. Ciao, amor. I don't want to make a example out of you, but please don't spam the chat. We're trying to find peace over here, and we're trying to have some fun. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on notifications, going live every single day of 2026. Become a member, throw in a super chat.
When you were leaving.
What extent are American financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters is that...
What does she ask? Come on.
When you were leaving.
What extent are American financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters is when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about American financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about...
So there, I've heard a lot of pushback from POTUS about that. I think from what I understand, he's seeing it from a defensive point of view where he doesn't want them to have a nuclear bomb. Otherwise, that could be very dangerous. Allegedly, that's what we're understanding from the news. And a lot of people say the news is propaganda. So, all right. Oh, amor, you need another one. All right.
One thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all.
That's right. That's a perfect statement.
So,
I'd make it again.
You can imagine how many people stopped the soundbite I don't think about America's financial situation. So what's your response to that framework?
It's very simple.
Archangel saying Brett Bussey won't ask anything about the Island Man files. There you go. Agree or disagree? You never know. Could be coming up.
When people hear me say it, everybody agrees. Short-term pain, it's going to be short-term pain. But the pain is much less than people thought. Because people thought that the oil...
And that's a very good point. Archangel, jumping on the chat again, says, why does Israel get to have nukes that are actually stolen from the from United States? Very good question. Very good question.
Oil would go up to $250. You know, it was $99 yesterday, $99 a barrel. I thought it might go up to $200. I was okay with that. Not that I wanted it, but you cannot let them have a nuclear weapon. They will use it on us. They'll start off with Israel, wipe it out. The Middle East, wipe it out. It'll go to Europe. You know, they have a missile that goes to Europe. You saw that, okay?
Dangerous. So dangerous. We got Lone Wolf and Cub jumping on the chat saying Democrats wouldn't release the Island Man files, but in the files we learned Trump called the cops on Island Man in July of 2006. How interesting. How interesting.
They have a missile, goes to Europe. I have done Europe a very big favor. When you tell somebody you're going to have to pay a little more, not that much more, a little more for gasoline for a very short period of time, because we want to stop the threat of being blown to pieces by a lunatic, by a crazy person, and they are crazy, using nuclear weapons, everybody says that's fine. And that question was a fake question, and they didn't put my full answer.
And we got Mark Roselle jumping in the chat saying, so why exactly are you bashing the very man that probably stopped a nuclear war in the Middle East, huh? Answers anybody? Answers.
I really care. Look, I inherited high prices, and they came in with the word affordability. My first press conference, 2 days in, and Biden didn't do press conferences. He'd go for years without doing, because he was incapable of doing it. He was an incompetent person. But my first question was about eggs. Eggs have quadrupled. What are you going to do? I said, eggs? Tell me about eggs. Tell me about the problem. Eggs have gone up 4 times. I said, I'll take care of it. By the way, I did take care of it. But they came up with a word, because they are good. They're rotten with policy. They're horrible politicians. In many cases, we have a new name. They're Democrats. I call them Democrats. Not Democrats, they're Democrats.
Democrats.
A lot of low IQ people. You have Ilhan Omar saying World War XI. She said she was referring to World War II. She said World War XI. These people are destroying our country.
These people are destroying our country. Not Democrats, the Democrats. So he's just talking about the dumb ones, I guess, right there, right? The Democrats. Everybody, we're going to have a good time. Jason Beatrice has joined the chat saying, I don't care what anyone says, we will never abandon Israel. America and Israel is like Kobe and Shaq. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Jason Beatrice has joined the chat.
We have to stop. And, you know, President Xi said something yesterday. He talked about, and he wasn't referring to the last 15 months, he talked about America as a nation in decline. And I said, you're right. But he wasn't talking about, because he said, what you've done in 14, 15 months is a miracle.
When you hear Trump voters, Alex says, I voted for you 3 times. He can't handle the costs. And he's not for this foreign conflict.
I hate it, bro.
He's not for the foreign conflict. But Roy in Pennsylvania, he's a retired farmer. He can't handle the fuel going up. And he says
it's going to come down very fast.
And
well,
so,
look, I'm disappointed.
I'm just telling you what they say.
When you say to him, Roy, Alex, we got a problem. We just hit the highest stock market price ever. By the way, then, when I went in. Now, again,
it's higher.
With the war, it's higher than it was when I went in. Think of that.
I agree.
The 401ks at their all-time high. There are more people working right now in the United States of America than at any point ever in the history of our country.
Detroit Free Press, a state that you won. While champagne flowed on the trading floor and President Donald Trump celebrated record highs, pessimism spread like wildfire outside Wall Street's doors, straight into the kitchens of average American families. There is this sense that, you know, something is changing. Whether they can hold on and believe that you're going to get them to know.
Brett, I have to do what's right.
We got Mark Roselle, 750, saying the Democrats are nothing more than communists in disguise, trying to run America in the toilet. What do you think, chat? W's in the chat for Mark or L's. Very, very funny. Thank you for the laugh, buddy. We're going live every day of 2026, so make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat.
Right. I said to my people, we just hit 50,000 on the Dow. That wasn't supposed to happen for 5 or 6 years. I did it in my first year. We just hit 7,000 on the S&P. That wasn't supposed.
Out of 58 votes, yes voted. 59% voted yes. Donald Trump is a puppet for Double B and Netanyahu. There you go. There you go.
It was even less of a chance than the Dow. It was just announced 401ks are at their all-time highest that they've ever been. All these things happened, and I said, I'm sorry to do this to you, but we have to stop this group of very crazy people. Now, those people are gone. They've been eliminated. The second group has been eliminated, and some of the third group, in a way.
And we got 2 voters in the other chat saying 100% no, Donald Trump is not a puppet for Double B Netanyahu.
We've eliminated so many leaders that it's almost, I'm trying to figure out who the hell are we dealing with, all right?
Who are you dealing with?
But, well, we're dealing with people that I think are right, but they're afraid to make.
Claire LFC says Trump is nobody's puppet. Trump knows the threat. There you go.
A deal. They don't know how to make a deal. They've never been put in this position before.
So you're going to hold out until they do.
Well, I'm going to do what's right. I have to do what's right.
But the strait should be open, right?
It should be open. Look, see.
Jason Beatrice jumping in on the chat saying, England today united under the banner of Christianity. They were chanting Trump, 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 and USA, USA. What an amazing, amazing piece of news. What an event, an experience. That must have been so cool, man.
To stop the strait is very easy. All they have to do is say, we dropped a mine in the strait someplace. You know, see, we're at a little disadvantage, but that's okay. The strait will be open. They will not have a nuclear weapon, and the world will go on, and you will see gasoline prices drop, energy prices generally drop like no. Don't forget, they have a lot of boats that are loaded up with oil that are going to bring the oil out as soon as this is over, and I think it's going to end fast. They've been holding up the world for many, many years with the strait. You know, they've used this many, many times. They said, we'll close the strait. They've closed it in the past. They use it as a weapon. They're not using it as a weapon with me. And what they did, and actually what President Xi said last night, sort of smiling about it, he said, well, they close the strait and then you close them.
But you think they're going to capitulate sometime soon?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I have no doubt.
Mr. President, stand by if you would. Special report from Beijing with the President of the United States continues after this.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
The President of the United States. There you go. There you go. We got some good ones. Lone Wolf and Cub says Trump tramples on the Constitution because AOC said so. There you go. Oh, our dear, dear, sweet AOC trying to make America great again. What a sweetheart, right? What a sweetheart she is. So, White House pushing for FDA approval of fruit-flavored vapes may have led to Macari's resignation. All right.
The head of the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, I should say, resigned after weeks of internal tensions.
She used that word first.
At the agency, Commissioner Marty Makary stepped down yesterday. He was in the role for a little over a year. Let's go live now to Capitol Hill and CBS News congressional.
Miss Donkey AOC. There you go. That's a good one. We got to see if we could find a picture of AOC riding a donkey.
Correspondent Nicole Killian. Hey, Nicole, so can you talk about these disagreements that reportedly pushed Makary to leave his position?
Yeah, that's right, Mugo. Well, what we know is that, there were many within the FDA who had expressed concerns about Dr. Makary's leadership, but ultimately this may have come down to, in part, a decision or an effort by the administration to try to get the FDA, more specifically the commissioner, to approve fruit-flavored e-cigarettes. That was kind of a point of contention between him and the administration, but it was just part of a number of issues, according to at least one source, but certainly others criticized, for instance, his style of management, that he was micromanaging a lot, and they just didn't feel that he was the most effective in that role. That being said, he did get a lot of high praise from the president, who did praise the work that he did for the agency, although he did acknowledge that the FDA, or former FDA commissioner, had some difficulty, if you will. But what's interesting to note in terms of the impact here on Capitol Hill is that Dr. Makary was scheduled to testify up here before a Senate Appropriations Subcommittee on the FDA budget. In fact, the chairman of that subcommittee just yesterday, about an hour or so before Dr. Makary resigned, told me that he expected him to appear. He expected him to be here on Capitol Hill today, that he had been in touch with him, and that despite these reports of his potential ouster, that he was expecting him to testify. Ultimately, that is not what happened, and so that subcommittee has now postponed today's hearing to a later date.
And Nicole, I want to switch gears now and talk about a topic that just seems to have no end in sight right now. We're obviously talking.
We got Mr. Rick74 jumping down the chat saying Obama started is and funded is also known as ISIS. There you go. What do you think, chat?
About the redistricting wars. It continues. We know a Louisiana Senate committee advanced a new proposed congressional map. How could this new map change the balance of power, and what kind of reaction?
Oh my gosh, what is this? Breaking news. What? Can you see that? You can't see that. You can't see all of that. She's riding a donkey. She is definitely riding a donkey. Oh my gosh. Amazing. That's a donkey. True. We got Che in the background. Oh my gosh. There we go. You ride that donkey, girl.
Are you hearing?
Well, I think it's too soon to tell. What we do
Yeah, that's me in the background.
know is that Louisiana was poised to hold its primary elections in May 16th and still intends to move forward. However, those House races were suspended until the state was able to draw up new maps in light of.
Also, this is me and AOC. We're just hanging out, taking it easy. I gave her the 2 sign, showing her a good time. That was when I had my mustache. We got her riding the donkey. Yeah, it's a good time. She's so cool, actually. She's very friendly. This is one of the benefits you get as a member. We show you how to use AI for funny reasons. Obviously not for bad reasons, for funny joking reasons. So make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat if you want. Let's have some fun.
Of this Calais decision by the Supreme Court. And so what we know is that the latest
Arkangle saying big boo. Thank you, Latina. There you go, buddy.
map that has since emerged on the part of state
AOC's cousin is being ridden.
legislators is that it would reduce one of those majority-minority districts. Right now, there are 2 majority-minority districts in the state, the 2nd Congressional District and the 6th Congressional District, both represented by African-American lawmakers, Cleo Fields in the 6th and Troy Carter in the 2nd. But now, under this new map, it would be more of a 5-to-1 balance, where there would just be that 1 majority-minority seat centered mostly around New Orleans. We heard a short time ago from Speaker Mike Johnson, who, of course, is a representative from the state of Louisiana, in addition to being the speaker. Take a listen to what he had to say about redistricting in that Calais decision.
There's some seismic developments, let's put it that way. In the Calais case at the U.S. Supreme Court,
How do you think that donkey got there, buddy? How do you think that donkey got there? I'll show you how. You gotta ride the donkey there if you want it to be there.
court restored a simple but profound truth. Yes, the Constitution.
Coco Bird saying, why is education illegal in the USA? Absolutely good question. Education should not be illegal in the United States.
Protects every American equally, and that's a very important concept for us to maintain. This is another fact. Democrats spent decades trying to engineer electoral maps that divided Americans, and this decision from the Supreme Court hopefully ends that terrible practice once and for all.
So while the speaker praised that Supreme Court decision, which is ultimately leading to these latest changes with respect to Louisiana's congressional map, on the other side of the aisle, you have Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, who says that Democrats will undeterred as all of these redistricting battles play out. In fact, later this week, the House Democratic Caucus is expected to hold a caucus-wide briefing to discuss its next steps. Mugo.
Okay, Nicole Killian on Capitol Hill for us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. They shouldn't even have vapes. Vapes are not healthy, right? Mark McInerney says, you leave PJ alone. They, them is confused. Thank you, Deanna Parker. Thank you for hyping me up. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. That is correct. We're going live every day of 2026. So make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. All right, we got Trump and Xi address Taiwan, Iran, and Beijing summit. All right. Sounds entertaining.
Hello, thank you for joining us. We begin tonight in Beijing. President Trump wrapped up his first of two expected meetings with Chinese President Xi Jinping in a highly anticipated summit. The two leaders sat down for a more than 2-hour long.
We got Colby Presents. Jesus loves us all so much that he died on the cross to save us from sin. He rose from the dead 3 days later, and no one, not even his enemies, denied the resurrection happened. Thank you for the chat, buddy.
Long closed-door session, which the White House later characterized as good. As expected, the issue of Taiwan was a key topic for Xi. China's foreign minister said Xi stressed to Trump, quote, the Taiwan question is the most important issue in China-U.S. relations. The two world leaders also discussed Iran, trade, and market expansions for American businesses.
The American and Chinese people share much in common. We value hard work. We value courage and achievement. We love our family.
All right, Arik Engel, thank you so much, buddy. Have a good nap. W. Trump in China. That's right. That's right. We got Mike M saying fake news media. There you go, buddy. Which one are you talking about? Please let me know what you're talking about.
Please, we love our countries. Together we have the chance to draw on these values to create a future of greater prosperity, cooperation, and happiness, and peace for our children. We love.
Yeah, we need peace for our children, 100%. We got Deanna Parker dropping some philosophical thoughts in the chat saying, you know, you're doing something correct when people hate you this much.
Our children.
Presidents Trump and Xi are expected to hold a second
President Xi looks very happy to see POTUS over there. That's very nice, refreshing.
Bilateral meeting Friday before Trump heads back to the U.S. During a state dinner, the
Jason Beatrice says China agrees Iran can never get nuclear weapons. Very, very important.
president invited Xi and his wife to visit the White House in September. CBS News foreign correspondent Anna Corin joins us now from Beijing. Anna, it's great to see you. Can you tell us a little bit more about what was discussed regarding Taiwan?
Meg, Taiwan was always the number one issue as far as President Xi was concerned. This is the core of core national interests. And when the cameras left the Great Hall of the People, President Xi, he drew that red line, basically saying this is the most important issue in this relationship, and that if mishandled, it could lead to conflict that could place the relationship in great jeopardy. So both sides knew the scorecard going in, but it was a stark warning from the get-go from the Chinese president. And where we go from here, it just depends. You know, we will wait to hear from President Trump. He's obviously been very constrained, hasn't spoken to the press, and
she was such a firecracker when she was younger. My goodness. Oh my gosh.
that's adhering to protocols here in China. It's much more strict, but perhaps once he boards Air Force One, we will hear more.
Something so nice about those Australian accents. Almost every single female I met from Australia has been so nice and so kind with an amazing personality.
Interestingly, Those leaked comments came from Chinese state media. The White House readout made no mention of it. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent later said that Trump is aware of the sensitivities of the issue and that we will hear more from him in the coming days, Meg.
And Anna, shifting gears just a little bit in terms of Iran, what else do we know what the President Trump and Xi discussed in regards to that?
Yeah, in relation to Iran, we heard in comments that President Trump gave to Sean Hannity that China has offered to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz. We know that,
which is great news, and we have contradicting statements from somebody else who we will see next. So let's see what's going on.
that was a discussion had in the Great Hall of the People yesterday. He also said that China promised not to sell military weapons hardware to.
Never Under Pressure says, so what deals did they secure for the American people? Good question. Very good question. Do you know what they did secure?
The Iranians. Obviously, China has been accused of selling dual-purpose weapons to Iran. Also, those precursor chemicals used for ballistic missiles. But President Trump saying that Xi is not going to do that. He takes him at his word, and that he has offered his help, his considerable economic leverage to try and reopen this critical channel that is causing global instability, Meg. The other, I guess, key issues to come out of this are the purchases.
If you ever want to laugh, just look at Jason Beatrice's responses.
Agricultural purposes, but also interestingly, the number of Boeing jets. I think 500 were.
Lone Wolf and Cub saying, what deals did Democrats secure for the American people? Anyone answers.
Expected to be sold, only 200. So not the I guess, you know, the quantities that perhaps people were expecting. 17 US CEOs were here over the course of the summit. They held one-on-one meetings with the president yesterday, and then obviously attended that state banquet last night. So they too hoping to crack the Chinese market, which as we know is enormous, with tremendous opportunity for the Americans.
Did China start purchasing oil from the United States yet? From what I understand, they've got ships going to U.S. territories to purchase U.S. oil. Is that accurate or not accurate?
American people, if they can get in here.
Absolutely. Anna Korn breaking it all down for us. Thank you.
Sweetheart. What a sweetheart. Oh my gosh.
Welcome back to 27 News at 10. President Donald Trump is in the U.S. after his two-day summit in Beijing. Trump and President Xi are calling the talks a success. News Nation Washington correspondent Raquel Martin has the latest.
Tell us, Raquel.
No major deals to report following the two-day summit. President Trump says President Xi did agree to purchase more U.S. agriculture and purchase 200 Boeing jets. But one critical issue that remains unresolved is the future of Taiwan.
We had an amazing time.
President Trump left Beijing on a high note.
Had an amazing time. The optimism. You know, it's always so funny to hear like the Democrats like saying, "Oh, I don't really like Trump, but I just love his optimism." So great to hear that. So great. I haven't heard it before, but I'm just imagining. I think it would be great to hear that.
He's an incredible guy.
The feelings appear to be mutual following a two-day summit where leaders.
All right, we got an update. They are buying some oil from the U.S., but the soybeans deal is huge for farmers. There you go. There you go.
Discuss trade, emerging technology.
Brandon Clark saying, why are Democrats so jealous?
In the Middle East, the Chinese government posted online that the visit marked a, quote, new beginning. It's unclear where that leaves Taiwan, however. President Xi made waves Thursday when he suggested U.S. military aid to the island would risk a conflict between the U.S. and China. Pressed about it.
Oh, that's kind of important, right? Let's hear that again.
Summit
What's
where
going
leaders
on?
discuss trade, emerging technology, and the Middle East. The Chinese government posted online that the visit marked a, quote, new beginning. It's unclear where that leaves Taiwan, however. President Xi made waves Thursday when he suggested U.S. military aid to the island would risk a conflict between the U.S. and China. Pressed about it.
That means China wants an advantage. They want something to do with Taiwan over there, right? It's not really a threat. It's just kind of like a... You know, it makes me feel uncomfortable if you put some troops there, POTUS. So don't do that. Is he going to listen? Probably not.
On Air Force One, President Trump acknowledged Xi's desire to control Taiwan, but did not commit to ending U.S. aid.
I made no commitment either way.
Back in Washington, House Speaker Mike brushed off Xi's warning.
We've made America's interests very clear.
We got Revivra saying United States against the microchips produced in Taiwan. What do you mean? We get a lot of our microchips from TSM, Taiwanese Semiconductor Company, manufacturing that thing. Yeah, USA does purchase microchips from Taiwan. That is correct.
Our position on Taiwan, they need to stay independent and secure there.
Democrats, meanwhile, question the president's priorities.
Again, I think that she has leverage over the president.
Republican Congressman Thomas went a step further.
The Chinese are playing chess, and when the president went to them and asked for help with...
It's called TSMC. That's what it's called. Sorry for that little... flub. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. And from what I understand, it is not a publicly sold company. Is it public? Oh, yes. The major Taiwan microchip is... There you go. Wrong. Twice at once. TSMC is the trade code. There you go.
Extracting us from the situation in Iran, they extracted something as well.
Although President Trump previously asked China to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz, he told reporters he didn't make the ask during his visit.
We don't need favors.
We don't need favors. All right, so this is the little one-day thingy going on with TSMC. Let's see the 5-day. Let's see how much it raised in the last year. Here's the 5-day. We got a drastic jump over here and a gnarly fall. All right, we got a 1 month. All right, started at 363, ended at 404. All right, let's see the 6 month. Started at 282. Imagine jumping in there at 282 and then having it now at 404. What a good idea. Let's do the year to date. If you got it a year ago, 319, 404, about an $80 difference. No. YTD. This is 1 year. So if you got it 1 year ago, it'd be 194. And if you sold it today, it would be 404. Just about doubling your money right there. But it's very weird. This is a risky one because of what Elon's doing. He's actually building... He got a federal loan to build a competitive semiconductor microchip, microprocessing AI chip, and manufacture in the United States. But does he have the skill and managerial powers to get it done? If he does, great for him. That would be amazing, right?
President Trump says China did agree not to send Iran any military aid as the conflict continues. For now in Washington, Raquel Martin, back to you.
Back to you. There you go, girl.
Not commit to ending U.S.
Not bad, not bad. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Cute gal. Very cute gal. So allegedly there was a fire someplace Robbins lumber mill fire in Searsmont. Tragic. Hopefully everyone is okay. There we go. Tragedy. That's a lot of lumber. That is a lot of lumber. What can you make out of that? Charcoal? From 9 hours ago, the morning after a massive explosion at fire at the Robbins lumber mill in Searsmont, flames could still be seen burning. Maine's total coverage flew our drone over the scene again on Sunday morning, showing the scope of the fire and damage in contrast to the intense flames that were seen on Friday. What a huge loss, man. What a huge loss. Hopefully they have insurance, or more importantly, hopefully nobody got injured. We got the FBI preparing high-tech drones for the World Cup. Very cool.
We are less than a month away from the kickoff to the World Cup, hosted in cities across the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. And while players and fans are getting ready, so is the FBI. Tens of thousands of fans from around the world would descend on these host cities, bringing with them plenty of security challenges. And today we're getting a firsthand look at some of the high-tech solutions to counter any potential threats.
This is the FBI. You have violated a no-fly zone. Land your drone immediately and await contact by law enforcement. Do it now.
Do it now.
National correspondent Alex Capriello is live in Alabama with a behind-the-scenes look at the FBI's new security measures. So, Alex, what did you see?
All right, Nicole, take a look right here behind me. This is what's called a command post. When the FIFA World Cup kicks off next month, you're going to see something along this lines outside every single one of the host cities. Now, actually, what happens inside there behind closed doors, completely top secret.
Awesome. Awesome. Controller truck. Very cool.
We weren't even allowed to bring our cameras inside. I was allowed to walk in, take some notes, observe, and report. And what I saw was about half a dozen or so local and state law enforcement, police officers, essentially, working directly with the FBI to learn how to use drones just like this one.
Oh, we got a 7-inch over there. All right. All right.
Other drones out there.
When you say 7-inch, it's usually the diameter of the propellers.
Are in the airspace, bad actors, people with bad intentions, think about explosive devices or potential terrorist attacks, essentially using their technology to disable those other drones and essentially use the technology to wipe them away and, in essence, protect millions of innocent soccer fans that are...
They got jammers on the drones? How are they going to do that? And it's not fiber optic cable. Very interesting.
Coming all across North America just to watch their favorite teams play. In fact, more than 60 local law enforcement agencies have partnered up with the FBI to get this critical training. Teams of federally trained cops will be monitoring the airspace. And
maybe that doesn't really look like an antenna. That could be a jammer right there.
If a drone pilot with data...
Come on. Come on. How are you not doing this? Nope. Okay.
Dangerous intentions enters a no-fly zone, the FBI can literally hack its electronics, hijack that aircraft, and take it away from the stadium. At the exact same time, the FBI will deploy what they call a good guy.
If. That's a big if.
Drone, which will circle the pilot, command them to immediately stop what they're doing before a ground team storms in and makes an arrest. Keep in mind, it's a federal crime to fly your drone in a restricted area, punishable with up to
True.
5 years in prison for repeated offenses.
True.
But the goal here is for discreet policing, meaning for the millions of fans coming to North America to watch their favorite teams play, they won't even notice anything's happening.
How far is USA going to go in the World Cup? What do you think? Is USA going to bring it home, ladies and gentlemen, to our 21% female audience and our 79% male audience? Is the USA men's national team going to bring home that little World Cup trophy? What do you think? We got Jason Beatrice saying, I can fly my drone from my bedroom. I love loitering with it. I can leave hovering for 10 hours and you'll never see it. There you go, buddy. There you go. Hopefully you're following all of the drone laws.
They're going to be detected, identified as a potential threat, tracked, and we're going to mitigate them. So we're going to get
Takumi, how you doing, buddy?
them out of this area. And the people that are watching the game won't even notice. This is all invisible, and that's by design.
A very good question. We got Brandon Clark jumping in on the chat saying, how many trillion of investment did Biden get into the USA? There you go. Good question. By the way, we're going live every day of 2026, so make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat if you want. Keep this channel alive.
And keep in mind, some extra security is going to be needed at this year's World Cup final because for the very first time ever, FIFA has announced its own Super Bowl-style show featuring the likes of Madonna, Shakira, and K-pop boy band BTS. Nicole?
All right, so Alex, who exactly is being trained to conduct this counter surveillance?
I can train them. I can train them.
Yeah, like I mentioned, about 60 local law enforcement agencies as I give a quick glimpse up at the sky at the Good Guy drone preparing to make its landing. So again, there's local and state partners that are coming here with the FBI to learn how to operate these things and make sure that their stadiums are safe. We talked already about the 11 host cities, essentially the ones that are mapped out right there in blue. Those jurisdictions all have some form of law enforcement that are partnering with the FBI to make sure that their jurisdictions are safe. And keep in mind, we're talking about dozens of matches at pitches all across the United States that are going to need this type of surveillance, this type of extra protection for those folks that are out there just looking to have a good time. And then also pitches
Hold on. We got 8 matches in LA, 6 in Bay Area, 6 in Seattle, 7 in Vancouver. There's one for you Canadians. You Canadians. 6 in Toronto. That's 13 in Canada, 7 in Boston, 8 in New Jersey, 6 in Philadelphia, 8 in Atlanta, 7 in Miami. That'll be fun. Dallas, Houston, Kansas, all representing. We got 5 in Mexico City, way down south, 4 in Monterrey, 4 in Guadalajara. Revivra says, this is the stupidest thing they do. Why are they publishing it on television, telling people what the FBI is doing? Good point. I think it's mostly as a deterrent, just saying like, hey, you can, pay this amount of money and do this amount of time, and it's illegal. Yeah, you never know, man. You never know, like, what they're doing with the betting and those types of things with the World Cup and all that type of stuff. And obviously, they don't want people to, like, get firsthand info if, like, they say, no, I don't know what's going on, dude. Also, it's a mess. Like, if a bunch of people have drones and, just imagine 500 drones up there just watching the game. People get in a lot of trouble. Like, there's a guy who flew a drone over was it a Super Bowl? He got in so much trouble. I can pull that up.
Going to need this type of surveillance, this type of extra protection for those folks that are out there just looking to have a good time. And then also keep this in mind. This is not just a World Cup thing. It's not.
And Las Vegas is very, very strict with drone laws, like super duper strict. One guy got in a lot of trouble in Vegas for flying his drone into the worst location you possibly could, an airport in Las Vegas. What a smart guy, right?
not just a technology that's here and then gone forever. This is the future, something that we should all be expecting, particularly when we think about some other major sporting events that are coming to the U.S. pretty soon. I'm talking to you, Los Angeles, Super Bowl 61, and then the not-so-distant future, 2028 Olympics.
All right, Alex Carfrello, live for us there in Alabama. Thank you.
Thank you for Alabama. There you go. Here's this guy. I'll show you this guy.
An Orlando, Florida man is in hot water with the FBI following Super Bowl Sunday.
Hot water.
This in from the Justice Department. United States Attorney Maria Chapa Lopez announced the filing of a criminal complaint charging Henry Jimenez, 33 of Orlando, with violating national defense airspace. If convicted, Jimenez faces a maximum penalty of 1 year in federal prison. According to the criminal complaint, on February 3rd, the FAA issued a temporary flight restriction covering an area extending outward from downtown Tampa. This flight restriction, along with others, was issued as part of a comprehensive security plan designed to protect and secure the events leading up to and including the Super Bowl.
And what a lot of people don't know is every drone has like its own little, just imagine like license plate. And whenever you operate a drone, it tracks your GPS location. It's like, okay, you're here, you're at this altitude, you're traveling at this speed, at least like the prosumer ones, not necessarily the custom built ones, but it gives all of your information, everything. Takeoff point, landing point, even if you change your takeoff and landing point. So yeah, if you're doing something bad, there's a huge chance you can get in a lot of trouble for it. So definitely not worth it.
That day, FBI agents saw an unmanned aircraft or drone flying near the Barrymore Hotel, Tampa Riverwalk, an area within the restricted flight zone.
Seems like Cash Battle is trying to save his job.
The FBI agents then located Jimenez, the operator of the drone, nearby in downtown Tampa. Jimenez stated that he is an FAA licensed remote pilot, UAS operator, and that he was aware that the restriction was in place for the Super Bowl. A review of his drone.
Yeah, Super Bowl tickets are so cheap anyways. I could just fly my drone over that. It's like it's like a park. People are just having fun. They're just getting paid millions of dollars, There's no like insurance policy, like who knows? Maybe a drone propeller might hurt some quarterback's thumb and they can't throw, and then it changed the betting and changes, the outcome, and it changes safety. And
drone flight path showed that it had traveled over the waterfront park, which was hosting public events related to the Super Bowl. Jimenez also appears to have operated his drone without maintaining an uninterrupted visual line of sight for the entire flight as required by FAA regulations. Furthermore, Jimenez flew his drone over people and moving vehicles. I'm Neil Carlson reporting for iNews.tv.
Yeah, and if you like fly a drone, you have to have like there's so many little rules. Yeah, it's just like an IP address. Revivra says every drone is a computer chip with a GPS connection which has an IP address. Yeah, like it's called a remote ID. Yeah. I don't know. And the thing is it only takes a few idiots like that to ruin a hobby. People have fun. They just want to fly around and then bam. Israel claims that they have extinguished someone very important. Who do you think it is? None other than the leader of the Hamas military wing. Oh, this
7:01, we are following some breaking news overseas. Israel says it has eliminated one of Hamas's most powerful leaders. Officials say Izz al-Din al-Haddad was killed in a strike on Gaza.
What you doing hiding your ring finger, girl? Let me see if you're married. You shouldn't speak like that to a news anchor. What are you doing, man? Let's have some fun.
City overnight. They say he helped plan the October 7th attacks that triggered the war in Gaza and had recently taken over as the head of Hamas's military wing. Stay with WUSA 9 for more breaking developments in this story. 7:02 now.
Okay, that's it. Pfft. Brilliant. Just absolutely brilliant. Speaking of Castro, Cuba's Raul Castro. When is his indictment? Just happens to be on the same day as the Miami event honoring plane shoot-down victims.
Now at 11, Raul Castro could be criminally charged here in the U.S. next week. Our news partners at the Miami Herald say an indictment against the 94-year-old former Cuban leader will be unsealed on Wednesday. It will be connected to the deadly shoot-down of two Brothers to the Rescue planes back in 1996. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jim Berry, and tonight for Lauren Pastrana. The U.S. government has been pursuing justice for decades. CBS News, Miami's Abby Dodge is your reporter live outside the Freedom Tower in downtown Miami, and that is where the historic announcement could take place.
There you go. Great color combination. Great outfit.
Abby.
Well, Jim, congressional representatives say they have been pushing for this for years, and now it might finally be happening.
You got to get your mic fixed, girl.
Dubbed the Ellis Island of the South, Miami's Freedom Tower processed tens of thousands of Cuban exiles at the start of the Cuban Revolution. It could soon gain greater significance. Our partners at the Miami Herald report the federal indictment charging 94-year-old Raul Castro with the murders of 4 men on board two Brothers to the Rescue planes 30 years ago is set to be unsealed Wednesday.
How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah, she was definitely hiding her hands. That's for sure, bro.
Adding with the Department of Justice's reception honoring the victims.
May their souls rest in peace.
Sure, we're going to go in and and get Raul Castro out of Cuba, but the fact that he was indicted, I think it means a lot to the family. I know it means a lot, to the Cuban community.
Republican Congressman Carlos Jimenez says the indictment is long overdue. When asked about the case on board Air Force One, President Trump had this to say.
I don't want to comment on that. I'll let DOJ comment on it, but they need help, as you know.
Cubans on the island taking to the streets, protesting blackouts, sometimes lasting.
Blackouts? My goodness.
Did anyone drop a super chat or become member yet?
Nope, not yet.
Please
Soon.
support this channel, drop a super chat, and become a member.
Good reminder, Veronica's friend. I don't even know what her name is. I forgot her name. Don't tell her I forgot her name. But anyways, yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. We're going live every day of 2026. Become a member, throw in a super chat. Help us keep this channel alive.
24 hours.
We got Reviva saying, what about the justice for the 165 schoolgirls? I don't know anything about it. And Lone Wolf and Cubs says, tell me more about it, Abby. Tell me, Abby.
Cuban leader Miguel Diaz-Canel said the country would consider accepting a $100 million U.S. aid package.
Yeah. You're actually right. It should be called a whiteout because light is more white than black, right? If it's black out, that means out means gone. White out. It should be called a whiteout. That is racist, man. That is so racist.
Funneled through organizations like the Catholic Church. Archbishop Thomas Wensky speaking to us before a mass marking his 50th year as a priest with bishops from Cuba in attendance, says the church is ready.
Just as the church was involved in those early years in receiving the Pedro Pan children, etc., the church will be involved today, not only trying to minister to people that are here, but also to assist our brothers on the island and brothers and sisters on the island.
UN professor of Cuban Studies Andy Gomez says the need for more aid was created by the communist regime. Cuban leadership blames years of U.S. embargoes and the recent oil blockade.
We're also interested in making sure that we don't see a flotilla of Cubans heading this way.
We posed that scenario to Congressman Jimenez.
Do you think the aid will help in curbing the desire for a mass migration?
That and the fact that they can see the light at the end of the tunnel, they can see freedom, and they can taste freedom and have freedom.
Sounds like such a good guy. That's great, man. Yeah, bishops from Cuba always trying to spend everyone else's money like good commies do. Direct from Lone Wolf and Cub. And then ending it with a just joking. There you go, buddy.
Well, Wednesday's event honoring the victims of the
Abby Dodge. Take that D out. And it's Abby Doge, Department of Government Efficiency. Ansel Ford saying, how many Cubans want to return to fix it? Yeah. I don't know if any, but great question.
Brothers to the Rescue murders is going to begin here at 1 p.m. Wednesday outside of the Freedom Tower in Miami. From downtown, Abby Dodge, CBS News, Miami.
Abby Dodge, good looker, girl. There we go. Somebody who actually looks like a woman. We got to celebrate the women who look like women, right? That's very good. Nice and natural. Blah, blah, blah. Who are you talking about? We got septums for you, buddy. You want a septum emoji? We got a septum emoji for you. We also got Goat Trump, MAGA, Roast, and gaslighting emojis for you too, buddy. Ansel Ford, no one answered your question. How many Cubans want to return to fix it? It's a good question. If you love your country that much, definitely want to help it, right? All right, so allegedly there's like a leaked billionaire doomsday happening, and I know like very little to nothing about it. So,
and Douglas Rushkoff is talking about some very candid conversations he has had with people who I would describe as very separated from the realities of the average person. Let's run it. And you know, this is actually
yeah, and Ansel Ford, how dare you ask such difficult questions people cannot answer?
A decent example.
Thank you for your chat.
He ever comes in here, and after this episode probably won't, but a decent example to give you an idea like how I approach these things. So I don't do gotcha sit downs with people. I talk with people for 3 hours. That's the way it's been since the beginning of the podcast.
Good man.
We had, without knowing about any of this months ago, looked into having Kevin O'Leary in. I think I know some people who know him. I think that's how that came up.
Yeah, I've spoke with his people too.
Right.
They've been receptive.
And maybe that'll happen. If Kevin O'Leary came in here, I'm not going to sit down and be like, yo, fuck you, bro. What are you doing? I want to hear him out. I want to, rather than a 90-second fucking sitting in his car answering a basic question on some mainstream network or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. I want to actually have a discussion, see what it is, have him lay out his whole case, be able to lay out the same case respectfully and carefully that I just did to you guys in probably a way more forgiving tone, to see what he does with that. And then you guys out there can judge away based on whatever his responses are. And wherever that lands, it lands. You know, that my job is as best I can to not, I mean, my opinions come into some things, but I don't want you to just like take my opinions, including on this show, obviously. My job is to present the things as best I can and then let you guys figure it out. Agree with me, disagree with me.
No diddy, no take that, right?
Agree with the guest, disagree with the guest, however you want, based on what the facts laid out are. But yeah, I haven't really thought about this.
How dare you talk to rich people? some lefty somewhere. That's directly from Lone Wolf and Cub. Thank you for that one, buddy.
In the context of now what's coming up, I probably still want to do that podcast because I think that should happen.
Oh, yeah,
and I know
100%.
where my head's at. I'm gonna be honest. My bias is with the people here. I think this is way too fast, way too much, without even knowing all the specifics of just what a AI data race this is.
And a big issue that I take with stuff like this, and it was a big issue with the Andover, New Jersey meeting a few days ago, is that they're rolling out these projects for, billions on billions of dollars.
Mark, how you doing, buddy?
With no incentive or very little incentive to the town, to the schools, to the people. So it's just like, who is this for? Who is this really for?
That's right. And again, it's a big part of the AI craze. And I don't, and this is something I would say to Kevin O'Leary, I don't think like Kevin O'Leary thinks. Kevin O'Leary is a stone cold business investor. I don't say that as a slight or a compliment.
No.
He is a very successful businessman.
Yep.
Who is always looking at trends. And what he gets off on, as best as I can tell, is like, let's make a deal and let's grow from that deal. And good for him.
Oh my goodness, we got a super chat from Lone Wolf and Cub trying to get me in trouble by reading your super chat, because I always read your super chats, saying Nick Fuentes is a G. Hey, Fed. There you go, brother. There you go. W's in the chat for Lone Wolf and Cub, keeping this channel alive. Veronica, will you come over here and tell Lone Wolf and Cub you love them?
Thank you for your support. I love you. Wishing you and your family the best.
Yeah, go and do your push-ups, girl. You are amazing. She's going to do some push-ups for you, brother. She loves you. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Yeah, make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Going live every day of 2026. Become a member. Throw in a super chat. Be as amazing as Lone Wolf and Cub.
Him. Like, that's a part of what runs the economy. I don't have that gene. I'm a creative. As I've discussed
Veronica, Lone Wolf and Cub loves you. There you go.
recently, I'm romantic about how I make money. I like to do things
If y'all get married, am I invited to the wedding or what?
I love, and wherever it lands, and that's probably why I don't have a lot of money. I should probably get a little better at it. Maybe I could take a point or two.
Preach to the choir, brother.
Right? But like, the downside of being purely motivated that way is that maybe even through the right intentions in your head, you pave your way to hell with the wrong intentions subconsciously. Because subconsciously, what you're seeing is target, trend, acquire, go. And you lose the people that are caught in the middle of that because you see them as assets or liabilities or a mix therein. I don't know. But it takes the humanity out of things. And again, sometimes that's not intentional. Other times it is. These guys like Kevin O'Leary, they got to look themselves in the mirror at night and decide what it is. And they know the truth there. So I won't say one way or the other. But, when you're looking at late stage empires throughout history, we talk about it so much. There are all these different trends that happen over and over again. Go back to the Roman Empire, go back to any empire. And one of them is a separation of class.
Ansel Ford jumping in on the chat saying, what's the fallout when the AI hype crashes? That's a good question, but I think, can you be more specific? Like, what do you mean by AI hype? Because I don't think AI is going to go anywhere. Absolutely not. It's going to have more lovers and more haters for sure. It's going to put people on, both sides. You have like those purists who say, I don't use AI. And then you have those people who are like, I don't want to do like 4 hours of emails and this and that and this and that when it's simple things. I can just program an AI to do this. So I think AI is going to be here and continue to become stronger. But if you're talking about as far as like the AI hype, like what I heard is we don't even need data centers anymore for a lot of the AI. Like people can run their own agents on their computers, but it's very dangerous to do that. You should definitely sandbox your computer What does that mean, sandbox? That means do not have your personal email on there. Do not have your personal credit card. Do not have anything that you can lose funds from, and kind of, create a new account and communicate with that chatbot or the long language model, AI model, AI assistant, whatever you want to call it, by Telegram or one of those types of things. But I don't think AI is ever going to crash. I think it's just going to keep on getting stronger and stronger and stronger. But also, I wouldn't say be worried about it for sure. There you go. Ansel Ford says, I was of too many data centers too fast. As tech progresses, they become obsolete. Yeah, that's the thing about tech. It becomes obsolete very quick. And the bad thing about data centers is they ruin a lot of the community waters around. So people can, A, not get water, or B, not get clean water, which is a huge problem. First take care of your citizens. That's number one. If you have the ability to change public policy or be in government, take care of your people, man. Take care of your people first. That's very important. What a liberal thing for me to say, right? Take care of your people first, man. Become a good person.
Classes. The diminishingly small, powerful.
What do you guys think? Do you think AI is going to crash? Is there an AI hype crash coming soon? Thank you for the question, Ansel.
More and more powerful elites and everyone else. And eventually, the scale of math and money tips. Now, what's funny is this is like the story of my life.
100%. Lone Wolf and Cub says, nothing to worry about. God has got this no matter what. Yeah, the Lord is in control and the Lord sees everything. That's right. 100%, buddy.
But not what I just said, what I'm about to say. I was watching a clip a couple days ago. I believe Elizabeth Lane posted it on Twitter. It was from the Rebel Wisdom show hosted by David Fuller. It was from back in 2020 with Douglas Rushkoff, who spent a lot of time with billionaires. Guy I don't know a ton about, but I was thinking to myself, man, this would make a great podcast. And then today, Danny Jones drops a podcast with Douglas Rushkoff. So shout out Danny Jones. Everyone go check out that episode. Danny Jones never, ever gets the credit he deserves. Basically, if you look at any big podcast where like a guest blows up, there's a 20% chance over the past like 5 years that this was Danny Jones plus X number of months. Like Danny gets people first, turns over rocks, or people that maybe sometimes people who are known but just haven't done the podcast circuit or whatever, and he gets it and then it goes. So maybe that'll happen with this Douglas Rushkoff guy. But let's play this clip real quick, Deep, because again, this was released on February 7th, 2020, so over a month before the pandemic started, which was obviously a world-changing event and all that. And Douglas Rushkoff is talking about some very candid conversations he has had with people who I would describe as very separated from the realities of the average person. Let's run it.
Yeah, I was invited to do what I thought was a talk to like bankers or something at a resort. And instead of me going out on stage to do a talk, they brought these 5 guys into the green room who started peppering me with all these questions about the digital future, Bitcoin or Ethereum and augmented reality or virtual reality. I figured it was one of these things where it's just these 5 billionaires looking for, investment strategies from someone who's on the ground in the cyber revolution. And eventually they got around to the question of, Alaska or New Zealand. Right? So they wanted to know mainly how to prepare for the inevitable collapse of society. And the question we spent most of the time on was, how do I maintain control of my security force after the event? Because their money's going to be worthless and these guys will turn on them. And it just struck me that here are the wealthiest and most powerful men I've ever encountered, yet they feel utterly powerless to influence the digital future, that the best they can do is prepare for the inevitable collapse and, insulate themselves from the reality that they're creating by earning money in the way they're earning it. And it was sad, but it was indicative.
That seems a little weird. It seems like if you're that successful, you're gonna diversify, right? Am I wrong here? I'm trying to understand this.
Of the way these folks are thinking. You know, the high-level billionaires, like the Elon Musks and Jeff Bezos, they want to get off the planet altogether, really just leave us behind. But the mid-level billionaires who can't afford rocket ships, they want to build, you know, bunkers and secret communities and get robot guards and, you know, and to protect themselves from the rest of us. You know, they really think that this is where it's going, or at least they're convinced enough that they're putting in 20-30% of their wealth into these survivalist scenarios, and it's a dark place for us to have gotten. You know, particularly the people who are building the technological infrastructure.
Yeah, and I think your conclusion to that was.
So this last part we're going to watch of this right here, this is in a nutshell, to me, just encapsulates the complete separation from reality. And I would argue...
He mentioned Ex Machina. It's a sci-fi thriller about a young programmer who wins a contest to spend a week at a secluded estate. He soon discovers he has been brought there to administer the Turing test on a surprisingly advanced, self-aware female humanoid robot, leading to a tense battle of wits and survival. She seems all right. Got to give you some visuals, right? That's what she looks like. Like see-through. All right. Come on, New York Times. Come on, dude.
At the very least, a basic human decency or straight up lack of humanity that some of, and I'm not labeling all people, some of these elites.
Lone Wolf and Cub says, if I was rich, I would love to build a doomsday bunker and stuff. That stuff would be so cool. Bro, you never know. You never know. Something might happen later today, next few days, and you just might have this amazing idea to become this entrepreneur, you know? And do whatever you're great at, and then you become super successful, bro. It happens. It can happen overnight, and just with a lot of dedication and perseverance, consistency, it'll happen. And yeah, bro. Invite me to the housewarming party. That'd be really cool. The bunker warming party. What would you have in your bunker? Your doomsday bunker. We got Frodo Blaggins jumping on the chat saying the issue with AI is an absurd amount of money being invested into AI, but AI is not producing a revolutionary product the common man needs for everyday use. What are you talking about, man? Did you not see our pictures we just made, dude? We got a picture of me and AOC. I'm photographing her riding a donkey. She's so cute, man. This alone, man, this alone just like qualifies for just being absolutely brilliant.
Thank you for your support. I love you. Wishing.
Veronica loves Lone Wolf and Cub. But yeah, that's me and AOC. Lone Wolf, that was a cool movie. No, but I see what you're saying, Frodo. I don't want to bring up like Palantir and stuff, but they've been doing some damage in Lebanon and in Iran and saving some money. So I don't know. There's a big business with AI, that's for sure.
Seemingly the ones that he's talking with have of all of us.
What do you think? What do you think? Awesome movie. I haven't seen that movie. I gotta watch that movie.
Let's play it.
Well, if you want to stop your kind of security force basically mutinying, you're going to have to treat them well. Basically, the only things that actually are going to be useful in those environments are...
Very true. Very true. Frodo Blaggins and Les Paul. Very true, bro. Me and AOC. I'm a Democrat. I'm a Democrat. Libtard. No, I'm just joking. But hey, if AOC is single and she wants to get interviewed by me, I'd love to interview her. I'm open to all parties and all theories, just trying to find peace and trying to figure out how we can live a better life. But yeah, Frodo, you say, plus you have OpenAI investing in NVIDIA, NVIDIA investing in Intel, Intel investing in OpenAI. It's a big circle of the same money moving from company to company. But what do they do with that money? But yeah, I've heard about that. Same with BlackRock and how they move their money around. NVIDIA, GPU, Intel, CPU, OpenAI, software. Yeah, they're all part of the same techosphere, for sure.
Things like...
Is that a word? Is defined as the global assemblage of all human-created buildings, infrastructure, machinery, and artifacts that interact with and modify the Earth's natural system. That's technosphere. Techosphere. Yeah, it's a made-up word. But like the ecosystem, but the tech ecosystem.
Trust, love, care, and the soft skills, because you can't actually... The money isn't going to help.
Alex says Frito betrayed Michael. What are you talking about? Give us the news. What's going on, Ansel? Yeah, circle jerk for sure, bro.
Right, and a legacy of doing that. You can't just start when they arrive. I mean, the joke was, I said, if you really want, you want your head of security to protect you, pay for his daughter's bat mitzvah today. And they all laugh because none of their heads of security are Jewish guys with, daughters getting bat mitzvahs. But they understood what I meant. If you...
Thank you, Wonderbucket. That's what I'm looking for. Big tech. It's just another way of saying big tech. That's right.
You've paid for someone's daughter's bat mitzvah, then when push comes to shove, it's going to be hard for them to kill you, 20 years later in the shelter, because they'll think, this guy paid for my daughter's bat mitzvah.
All right, pause it right there. Can't just kill him. It's so sad. It is so sad that advice like that needs to be given. But basically, like, yeah, get a little ashtray money and fucking buy off your security guy. Throw him $100,000 so he doesn't kill you in 10 years when the whole world's over. And the fact that these people are thinking that way, and to Douglas's credit, he talked about the only things that would matter in that type of scenario, where he's like, love, trust, lean on each other's safety and things like that. The fact that these people that he's talking with don't even know what that is.
How you doing, buddy?
Those words mean nothing to them. They operate in a world of just this.
It's crazy.
You gotta live with yourself, man. I wish you all the best. But
that's true, buddy. That's true. And so we got some people saying, leave or we will extinguish you. And who are they saying that to?
Don't touch me!
They're saying that to Palestinians in Jerusalem, the old city.
Hey, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? I'm gonna
Yeah. This seems very accurate. I've seen some of this in person.
In the heart of the Holy Land.
Not that aggressive when I was there, but like right there. Free Frankenstein, bro.
This is an example of the kind of intimidation that they're talking about.
The chaos started early.
We are still hours out yet from the march. And
Where are you from? From the march. Where are you from? Hello. What's his mind? Blah, blah, blah.
Let him speak. Let him speak. Let him speak.
Dude, Where's the respect? Where is the respect? What does that child's mom or dad think of him? Or do they support this type of inequality and human rights? Oh, speaking of human rights, I got a perfect one for you.
It is open today, June 7, 1967, after the Israeli troops had driven out of the new quarter of Jerusalem into the previously Jordanian-held old city of Jerusalem, which now...
What do we need?
There's this thing called kairos. It means like do it immediately. Like whenever you have it, just do it. Do it. And that should be inspiring to you. So if you have anything that you want to do, just do it. Don't wait. Just do it. Absolutely do it. And I want to show you this because that just popped up right now. All right. Lined up.
Need humans for, or at least what do we need so many humans for?
Do you have an answer in the book?
At present, the best guess we have is keep them happy with computer games. The idea of the social credit is to monetize everything. To give value to every single thing you do in life. It has positive potential in some regards. Most people will be willing to give up their privacy in exchange for much better healthcare based on 24 hours monitoring of what's happening inside their bodies. This is the end of human history. Not the end of history, the end of human-dominated history. History will continue with somebody else in control. AI can even write a new Bible. All the other books of the other religions, humans wrote them. But our book, no. It came from some superhuman intelligence. Human rights are just like heaven and like God. It's just a fictional story.
Did you hear that part? That's the part that just slaps. Am I muted? Oh my gosh. Check. Can you hear me? Check. 1, 2. Yeah, okay, you can hear me. Alright, so for whatever reason, I can't see my levels. But I'll trust them. I'll trust the levels. Thank you, Geo Aero Images. Appreciate it. Thank you, Wonder Bucket. Yeah, this part is the part that just, it's so wild.
Human intelligence. Human rights are just like heaven and like God. It's just a fictional story.
So fictional means fake. Thank you, Lone Wolf. Thank you, Hansel. And this man is saying human rights is just fictional. So this is coming from this dude, right?
It came from some superhuman intelligence. Human rights are just like heaven and like God. It's just a fictional story.
And that's so sad, and that puts this video in much better perspective, you know, and I don't know, man. I'm just trying to figure this all out. I want peace. But what's the route to peace, man?
Now lies clear on the other side of that gate.
This is Jerusalem Day, when Israelis mark their victory in the 1967 war, their seizure of the Western Wall and...
Human rights is fictional. Human rights is fictional. Human rights is fictional.
Of East Jerusalem. International law envisions these streets as the capital of a Palestinian state. But those marching don't see it as an occupation. They've come to celebrate what they believe is Jewish ownership of the whole of this ancient city. What's striking is that these young people, many of whom have come from settlements on the West Bank, do not fear.
Dorhin J23 says Yuval is not correct about anything ever. Lone Wolf says, if you don't believe in anything, you'll fall for everything. He is a good example of that. Absolutely. Just to let you know, we're going live every single day of 2026. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat if you want. And Human rights are real. Political branding is the scam, allegedly. So the U.S. talks about human rights as the idea that certain rights belong to human beings before any government gives permission. Life, liberty, free speech, religion, press, peaceful protest, fair trials, freedom from torture, freedom from arbitrary arrest, and basic worker rights. So if he's saying human rights are fictional, imagine those as just positives. Then switch that around and those are negatives because it's all fictional, because this is based on human rights are true. So life, no life, no liberty, no free speech, no religion, no press, no peaceful protest, no fair trials, no freedom. Okay, no freedom from torture, no freedom from arbitrary arrest, and no basic worker rights. Oh, dude. Hey, maybe Dorhinje. Maybe that is actually what he believes, bro. Or girl, or they, them, or whatever, whoever, whatever.
The police here, they come from the powerful settler movement. Once,
what do you think, chat? Am I way off over here?
A fringe extreme in Israeli public life, the ultra-nationalists are now increasingly influential. We meet Atara.
Yeah, Wonder Bucket. You'll have nothing and you'll be happy. You'll be so happy. Oh my gosh. Just don't at me. Keep this personal, guys. Susan says there are natural laws and there are man-made laws. Natural law supersedes man-made laws. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, the waves do not wait for anyone. If you're in the ocean and you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, that wave will take you wherever it wants to take you. So you need to know how to navigate in the waters. 100% accurate. Natural law versus man-made law. Natural law being the waves, man-made laws being language and other things. She has a cute smile. Let's see a little bit of an evil look over here going on. But maybe a cute person, like a sweet person. I'm not saying like anything, just like, could be a nice person. Let's see what this person's going to say.
Laura, who moved here with her parents from Texas 5 years ago.
And tell me about your two flags.
So this is a flag of the third temple, which we want to build, hopefully here on the Temple Mount.
Many people are holding the same flag. The Third Temple movement wants to demolish Al-Aqsa, the third holiest place for Muslims, and build a Jewish temple on the site. We're quickly surrounded by demonstrators.
Wait a minute. So with human rights, that means you have permission for religion. And if you're, according to that guy, what's his name, Yuval? You don't have freedom of religion. So, according to this video and according to what he said, we're still on point.
Demonstrators.
What are they trying to
do? Yo, Albie Drone, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Always good to see you, man. Good to see you. How you doing? Liking your drone videos, man. They're pretty cool. Yeah, man, this political stuff. It's a lot of propaganda and a lot of separating people. There's good Jewish people. There's good Palestinian people. Man, we should just all find peace somehow. That's 100% true, man. And this stuff, like, sometimes they'll put this stuff on the news to try to separate us, but we got to stay together. We got to stick together. Cool, bro. Everything good with you?
They want to put stickers.
And what do the stickers say?
Kahana was right.
They idolize Meir Kahane, a far-right American rabbi who moved to Israel and was convicted of multiple acts of terror. He's considered a founding father of the ultra-nationalist movement.
So what would you do to the Palestinians living here?
Who else is a nationalist? Oh, that's awesome, bro. Pickled ball 5 days a week. That's good, man. As long as you're getting your exercise, that's very, very important.
Here, like in the old city, leave or blockade.
What would you do?
I think Islam is cancer, and you don't transfer cancer to another patient. That's not moral. You have to destroy cancer.
And what does destroy look like for you?
To either kill or re-educate all Muslims.
This man, Itamar Ben-Gvir.
To either extinguish or what?
Patient, that's not moral. You have to destroy cancer.
And what does destroy look like for you?
To either kill or re-educate all Muslims.
This man.
Be educate.
What does destroy look like for you?
To either kill or re-educate all Muslims.
Oh, re-educate. Okay.
This man, Itamar Ben-Gvir, from the extreme right, makes similarly shocking statements. Once convicted for supporting far-right terrorist organizations, he's now the Israeli government's national security minister. And he started Jerusalem Day by unfurling the Israeli colors at Al-Aqsa. Israeli police describe isolated pockets of violence at the march. The Christian quarter of the Old City was set upon by a group of Jewish demonstrators.
These streets should be absolutely packed with people. It's very strange being in the Jerusalem Old City and it being completely deserted. There should be shoppers, shopkeepers, religious pilgrims, and yet they can't be here. And they haven't been able to be here on any of the Jerusalem days because it is quite simply too dangerous for them. Now, we're told the vast majority of those marking this day, Jews across Jerusalem, are peaceful, but the ones who come here, the settler activists, they are bent on chaos. And those we speak to here say it's got worse and worse every year. The settler movement has been empowered. It is now at the heart of the Netanyahu government. More settlements have been greenlit in just the last year than were greenlit over the last 20 years. And Palestinians in this old city do not feel safe.
While many refused to engage with us, some, mostly American demonstrators, did agree to speak.
The uptick in settler violence on the West Bank is out of control. You must agree with that.
First of all, I'm not too into that, but I kind of do disagree. But, yeah.
And I mean, we were just over there. The level of intimidation by a lot of young, and this is why I was interested to talk to you, because you don't seem to want to fight, which is great.
I don't think that there's any point in violence.
Well, a lot of your friends here do seem to think there's a point in violence.
I might disagree with them.
Well, you could just walk along right over here.
Because most of the people are not
fighting. You see a bunch of signs where Jews were killed, right? And those were killed by...
Lone Wolf and Cub jumping in on the chat saying Islam has the exact same belief for all humans. If you're not a Muslim, you are a kafir, kufar, and ciao ciao. Wonderbucket says Israel regrets handing Gaza over to the Palestinians in 2008. What did they get for it? Not peace, that's for sure. Yeah, man, what a tough situation over there. Last time I was there, when I was in a taxi with such a weird situation. A Muslim taxi driver, Israeli Air Force, American dude, and me. Such a weird thing. And I asked the Israeli guy next to me, I said, hey man, what's going on over here? Like, come on, like, you don't. And I was kind of being quiet, so the taxi guy didn't hear me too much. And he's like, oh man, it's a mess. It's a mess on both sides. It's a mess from the Palestinians. They're not playing by the rules, and the Israelis, they're not playing by the rules. It's a mess, man. It's a huge mess. And I'm like, well, there you go. Heard it first from Israeli Air Force dude.
Arabs.
Yeah, I can show you.
I have one day that's Yom Yerushalayim, Flag Day for the Jews, so we come here to show this is our land, this is our city.
The basis of all this is that you're not from here. You came here from America, trying to displace people who were from here.
First of all, I'm not trying to displace nobody, and second of all, this is my country. I'm a Jew. God gave it to me.
Shaheen owns a kebab shop, but he can't open today.
Is it every year it happens? But
no, it's every year more and more and more.
We're talking to you now, and you've got a group walking down who are trying to stop us from being able to talk to you, I think. That's what they're doing. They're shouting so we can stop our interview.
We let them pass, and Shaheen finishes his cigarette.
What do you feel when you see them walking?
It's pain for me. Yeah. It's pain for me. I want to live, you want to live, he wants to live, everybody wants to live.
In another corner of the city, a man watches from his window.
I asked this man how many people are inside. He said there are 7 of them in the house. He said he feels safe there, but he does not feel safe out in the street.
Ariana Grandov says, Satanic Black Magic SS hit. There you go. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Thank you for your chat.
And described to us being...
Lone Wolf and Cub says, until the end times when the jizya will be abolished and you only have 2 options. 2 options? What are the 2 options? Wonderbucket says, Iran didn't spend decades developing a nuke only to see it get taken out by the Iron Dome. That's the reason they had their proxies build 800 miles of tunnels under Israel to plant it under them. Oh, they built 800 miles of tunnels underneath Israel? That's news to me. That's wild. There's another country that was building tunnels too. 2 or 3 years ago. I don't think it was in Israel though. I think it was someplace else.
Spat on by a young activist out in the street. And that the IDF saw it happen and that they reprimanded those young boys.
But there are Jews here to protect Palestinians. Standing together works to foster understanding between Israelis and Palestinians.
That's cool.
Stand with our
Find some
bodies
reason.
against the settler violence here against the Palestinian community.
Oh my God, bro. The Lord sees. Hopefully those people get stabbed. Talking about Patriot Watcher. Dude Imperfect says, that's news to you because it's not true. There you go. Got some pushback in the chat.
Community of Eastern Jerusalem, and we will not let this violent day affect the population here. And we're ready to get hit. We don't want them to get hit. This is our responsibility as Jews.
G3 Arrow Images jumping in on the chat saying, all the people have matching stickers, hats, flags, beliefs, and ideals. The anger and entitlement is also the same as a certain political party in the U.S. Not going to name any names. I can say who it is or what they do or this or that, but one of those political parties. Very true. Patriot Watcher says, there's tunnels all over the U.S. I heard there's tunnels in the U.S. Definitely heard that. And I heard that there's tunnels underneath affluent neighborhoods in the United States, which was news to me. But it's also, I think, for some type of safety reasons and also probably for some nefarious reasons. I could imagine. You never know. It's just like a street. Anything can happen on a street, right?
But you're Jewish.
Yeah.
It's your day too.
Nope.
No, you don't feel that way.
It's a day of occupation. I think that justice must come to all people in this land, and the occupation cannot persist.
Do you think that's a majority view in Israel?
It will be.
It will be.
Standing Together is a movement built on the hope of coexistence. Attitudes across Israel to a two-state solution have hardened, especially since October.
Dude Imperfect says right wing, left wing, both are wings of the same bird. Wake up, America. I don't think a lot of people are going to disagree with you on that one, dude. I think people agree to certain beliefs that conservatives have or Democrats have, but ultimately, man, yeah, left wing and right wing of the same bird, 100%. 100%. So many people agree. Allegedly.
The 7th and the devastation in Gaza. These activists are willing to put their own lives on the line for the promise.
Got your camera. All right. Wonderbucket says Muslims have been using tunnels to attack for a long time. Look at the siege of Vienna in 1683. They made tunnels under the wall of the city and planted explosives. All right. All right. Thank you for the info. All the good data.
promise of a different kind of Israel.
And they started shouting now because they know that we're trying to speak and they're trying to drown it out. I mean, what do you feel as an Israeli when you see this?
Palestinians here are my brothers and sisters, and I will stand with them.
That was a little weird how when I saw this picture and I saw her eyes here, I was like, that looks a little interesting. That looks a little interesting.
Israeli police describe.
But yeah. There you go. The 1683 siege of Vienna was a. Let's see if I can put it up here for y'all. The 1683 siege of Vienna was a pivotal historical clash between the Ottoman Empire and a coalition of European powers lasting from July 14th to September 12th in 1683. It culminated in the largest cavalry charge in history, decisively halting the Ottomans' westward expansion and turning the tide in favor of the Habsburgs. Combatants, 150,000 Ottoman troops commanded by Grand Vizier Kara Mustafa Pasha against 15,000 defenders in the city, backed later by an allied relief army of roughly 80,000 men. So 80 plus 15, that's 95,000 versus 150,000. Okay. Significant difference, right? Unless not used correctly. We got some tunnels here. The siege. For nearly 2 months, the Ottoman army used artillery and underground tunneling to bypass Vienna's heavily fortified bastions, led by Count Ernst Rudiger von Starmhunger. The defenders suffered from dwindling supplies and rampant disease until the city was on the brink of collapse. There you go, buddy. Thank you for the info. Wonder Bucket. You know, that's whenever you start speaking like truths, people automatically start to respect you a little bit more. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I think the more people know that, the more that they want to kind of cleave to the truth. And I think if more people tell the truth, a lot of good things are going to happen with the earth, right? And the people on earth. Because it's all about the people. 100% it's about the people. What about closed borders versus open borders? Does that work better than right wing and left wing? That's why they hate Trump so much. From Lone Wolf and Cub. Yeah, what? Why borders, bro? What about open everything? You know, open your car doors. The car doors that you paid so much for. Open your houses that you worked so hard for, paying the mortgage for. Open your apartments. You know, you're paying for electricity, paying for gas, paying for groceries. Just open those doors too, right? Why just stop at apartment and house doors? What about underwears? You know, you only have one clean pair of underwear left. Open your drawer. Let your buddy, this guy you don't even know, take your underwear and force you to do laundry. Why in there? What about cups? Free cups. Here, you can use my cup. Yeah. What about beers? Oh, it's the last beer? Let me take your last beer. Come on, free beers. Free everything, right? No lines. Free police, too. You don't need police. And what happens then? Only the strongest survive. Only the biggest and toughest and most ruthless. And you go back to being cavemen and fighting for your everything. Okay, so let's be uncivilized. That's a slippery slope we just went on. And I don't know if it's accurate, but I just want to mention it. It's like a slippery slope. if this, then that, then that, then that, then that, then that, right? But for extremists, sounds completely great until their stick is shorter than everybody else's. You know, they get the short stick and they're the butt of the joke. Then they're not going to like it too much. Kind of like, who's the meta dude? Zuckerberg. He's like, yeah, man, defund the police. I don't need the police. And then he decides to run a marathon. He's like, oh, all you ex-military veterans, can I hire you? I need like 12 of you. You guys need to run with me. Carry guns. Make sure no one tries to hurt me on this marathon. I don't know. What about use your brain and think about the future too? And respect the police. And respect the heroes in your life, the firemen, who do the dirty job so you don't have to. All right, and we're going live every day of 2026. So make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat, and let's look at the legendary corner of none other than Mr. GSP. Oh, before that, we got Veronica's friend coming in. All right, yeah, come on. Talk to us.
Did anyone drop a super chat or become member yet?
Wolf and Cub did.
Please support this channel, drop a super chat, and become a member.
There you go. Drop a super chat, become a member. You get so many benefits as a member. I love you. The Lord loves you. Everybody loves you. We have the best chat
Most people look at this.
All right, so this is a wild one. You guys know this guy? A lot of people call him the GOAT. And I want to actually make this smaller so you can see the top of the picture. Oh, it's cut off a little bit, but you got to see the top of the picture. That's one of the most important parts of this. And yeah, let's check it out.
Photo and only see GSP, but look behind him. That's not just
yeah, this dude, and that dude.
a corner. That's basically the Avengers of MMA coaching. On one side, you've got John Danaher, the grappling mastermind who later created an entire generation.
Danaher is wild. He helped this Israeli gentleman become one of the greatest grappling dudes around.
Of submission killers. Then there's Firas Zahabi, the calm strategist who helped turn GSP into one of the smartest fighters ever. Phil Nurse, one of the men
striking genius, man,
responsible for GSP's legendary striking and footwork. And Greg Jackson, the coach behind multiple UFC.
You guys know Jackson, right? You know Jackson. Yeah, it is GSP. Sorry.
Champions and some of the.
You got Johnny Bones Jones training with Jackson before their relationship somehow got ruined.
Greatest game plans in MMA history. What makes this photo insane is that all of them were in one corner for one fighter. This wasn't just a UFC champion walking into battle. This was probably the most overpowered corner team MMA has ever seen.
That's so awesome. Moral of the story, get those good people in your corner, honestly, and make your life amazing. I love you. The Lord loves you. Your family loves you. Everybody in the chat loves you. We're going live every day of 2026. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, become a member, throw in a super chat. Tan, but I was going to read your message, but I don't know, man. That's a little offensive, man. But we got freedom of speech here, so I don't take offense on anything. So feel free to say what you want, man. Yeah, Wonder Bucket. That's GSP, George St. Pierre, for sure. Oh, would you recommend that GSP Matt Hughes fight? Was that a pretty good one? Yeah, man, Matt Hughes, what a dangerous man. All right, y'all. So, yeah, we are going to end it here, and then we're going to see you soon. We're going to see you soon. We're going to see you on the next one. So, until then, if people start drinking that haterade and just start spewing hate on you, let that hate roll off your back like water rolls off of a duck's back, and follow your dreams. All right, y'all. Talk